In 1 BCE, the 9-year-old Emperor Ping of Han was enthroned as emperor. The Grand Empress Dowager Wang Zhengjun assumed regency, but real power over the court was in the hands of the Grand Marshal Wang Mang. To consolidate his position and enhance his prestige, Wang Mang wanted his daughter to become Empress of the Han Dynasty. For reasons unknown, however, Wang Zhengjun did not support this plan. Wang Mang then pretended to comply and stated that his children lacked outstanding virtue and talent, and therefore should not be selected together with other women to enter the palace. Unaware of his scheme, Wang Zhengjun agreed and issued an edict declaring, "The daughters of the Wang clan are relatives of my own family, they are not to be selected." As a result, commoners, scholars, and officials of the rank of gentlemen and above who submitted petitions at the palace gates numbered more than 1,000 each day. They all expressed the same view: the Duke of Anhan, Wang Mang, has rendered such magnificent achievements. Now that an empress is to be established, how can it be that only his daughter is excluded? We wish for his daughter to become the mother of the realm. Instigated behind the scenes by Wang Mang, more and more people submitted memorials. This entire selection of the empress was completely manipulated by him. His daughter became the sole candidate and was ultimately installed as Empress of the Western Han Dynasty. Because Emperor Ping of Han married the daughter of Wang Mang, the emperor granted Wang Mang vast tracts of land. To present himself as virtuous, Wang Mang returned all of them. The betrothal gifts from the emperor for the empress amounted to as much as 200 million coins, yet Wang Mang accepted only a portion. Later, he used even that portion to provide relief for the impoverished members of the Lu imperial clan, thereby highlighting his image as someone who cared for the people. However, throughout all the ceremonies of presenting the betrothal gifts, Emperor Ping's mother, Consort Wei, had been forbidden by Wang Mang from coming to Chang'an and thus could not participate, leaving her deeply grieved. In 5 CE, Emperor Ping of Han fell ill. Wang Mang prayed to heaven, offering to die in the emperor's place. Yet not long afterward, in the 12th month, the emperor died at the age of 14. In order to manipulate the political situation at will, Wang Mang once again refrained from enthroning an adult member of the Lu imperial clan. In 6 CE, Wang Mang selected the 2-year-old Ruzi Ying as imperial heir, while secretly plotting to usurp the Han dynasty. At just this time, someone reported that a piece of white stone, round on top and square at the bottom, had been unearthed from a well, bearing red inscriptions that read, "Inform the Duke of Anhan, Mang, to become emperor." Wang Mang then had his officials report this to Wang Zhengjun. She responded, "This is a deception imposed upon the world and must not be carried out." However, the Grand Protector Wang Shun said, "The matter has already come to this, there is nothing to be done. Even if we oppose it, we cannot stop it." Moreover, Mang does not dare harbor other intentions, he merely wishes to assume regency in order to strengthen his authority and bring the realm into submission. Left with no choice, Wang Zhengjun complied. She ordered Wang Mang to act on behalf of the Son of Heaven in governing state affairs, granting him the title of acting emperor. She also elevated the 17-year-old empress of Emperor Ping of Han, who was Wang Mang's own daughter, to the rank of Empress Dowager, and established Lu Ying as crown prince, known as the Ruzi, the child. This became a curious episode in Chinese history. The acting emperor and the true crown prince belonged to different clans and bore different surnames. The Confucian thought, founded by Confucius, centered on benevolence, Ren, and guided by ritual propriety, Li, as a code of conduct, had already been widely spread by his disciples. By the time of the Spring and Autumn period and Warring States period, it had become the mainstream of traditional Chinese culture among the common people. However, it was not accepted by rulers who were intent on strengthening their states and pursuing domination through conquest. Even after the state of Qin unified the 6 kingdoms, the tyrant Qin Shi Huang persecuted Confucian scholars on the charge of slandering the central government, burying those with dissenting views alive and burning their valuable books. The ancestor of the Qin state, Duke Xiong of Qin, established his domain on the western frontier of the Western Zhou dynasty. After a long and arduous struggle spanning 549 years, Qin Shi Huang finally founded the unified Qin Empire. Yet in just 13 short years, this great empire collapsed with a crash. In view of the rapid of the Qin dynasty, Confucian thought, which had already taken root among the lower and middle strata of society during the Spring and Autumn period and Warring States period, gained a renewed chance for survival. Dong Zhongshu, 179–104 BCE, a renowned philosopher of the Western Han, integrated the Confucian ideals of benevolence and righteousness with the core legalist concepts of law, technique, and power. In doing so, he developed a new system of Confucianism. Among its key ideas, the doctrine of the interaction between heaven and humanity, Tianren, was accepted by the rulers of the Han Dynasty, thereby giving Confucianism the opportunity to enter the mainstream of official ideology. The doctrine of interaction between heaven and humanity, Tianren, advocated by Dong Zhongshu, held that the emperor, the ruler, received his mandate from heaven, thereby establishing the sacred and legitimate nature of imperial authority. Since heaven could intervene in human affairs, human actions could in turn evoke responses from heaven. When a ruler practiced the kingly way and governed with clarity and virtue, heaven would send down sweet dew and auspicious omens as encouragement. But if a ruler carried out evil policies or acted in defiance of the way of heaven, heaven would issue warnings and condemnation through disasters such as earthquakes, droughts, floods, and comets. Master the civil and martial arts, and sell them to the imperial house is a traditional Chinese saying that still retains its value today. Especially in ancient times, for poor scholars who possessed neither land nor other property, their only asset was the intangible wealth of cultural knowledge. In an era when industry and commerce were not well developed, the government became the ideal destination for their careers. The next best option was to become teachers, educating others and promoting Confucian culture. Wang received a traditional Confucian education from a young age and held himself to strict standards. He lived frugally, was humble in his dealings with others, and, during the early surge of the new Confucian cultural movement at the end of the Western Han, his image was regarded by contemporaries as a model of morality, even as a sage ahead of his time. As Grand Marshal wielding real power in the court, Wang keenly understood that the hearts of the people could be used. He leveraged the Confucian scholars who fervently admired him to spread new Confucian culture deep among the grassroots population, teaching them that the emperor received his mandate from heaven and must govern according to the kingly way. If a ruler enacted wicked policies or defied heaven's way, heaven would issue warnings and punishments. This ideology laid the groundwork for the principle of abdication, ultimately paving the way for Wang Meng's future usurpation to appear legitimate.